Hey y'all, hey, so I'm back with a life update. So I'm gonna start off by saying thank you for all the comments and the positive feedbacks. I see them right along. So I'm gonna just like go back. I actually watched all of my old videos from 2 years ago when I first started my journey with Gerd when I got diagnosed in if it was late 2020 or early 2021, I'm not sure. I forget exactly when. I think it was during COVID, if I'm not mistaken. So it was most definitely probably 2020. But it's 2023, and if you're familiar with my previous videos, my face is more fuller. See, I have like meat on my bones, so it's actually like, I'm in a whole different situation now as far as health wise, and thank God for that. Like I said, I went over a lot of I actually watched at least 3 of my old videos just to retouch like where I was back then, and woo, I have came a long way. So I did the esophagram, and I also, which was like a in-office procedure, and I also did the endoscopy, which I saw in the comments with a lot of you all's concerns and just wanted to know about that, and just to touch on that, just to retouch on that. They did find polyps on my stomach back in 2021. I first got diagnosed with Gerd in 2020. I started to have all my procedures and stuff in 2021. So the endoscopy, it helped far as finding the problem to why I was bleeding. I was coughing up blood every time I would wake up. That was serious for them and for me, and they wanted to know exactly where it was coming from. Thank God it wasn't cancerous. It was actually polyps on my stomach that they were able to remove, caused by the omeprazole, which is a PPI that they give when you are diagnosed with Gerd, which is like acid reflux. So to start with the PPI, the omeprazole, I didn't, they say don't Google. I actually didn't, just out of fear back then. But when I finally did decide to Google, because even after I was on the PPIs, the omeprazole, it wasn't helping. It felt like it was hurting me more than it was helping me. I said that in at least 3 videos back then that I remember watching, and that definitely was the case. Initially, I was only supposed to be on it for 3 months. I went in because I was still having issues. It wasn't like I was getting any better. So when I went, my doctor actually consulted with her superior. And when he came in, he heard my story. He tried to diagnose me with panic attacks and not Gerd. And I'm like, okay. I never heard of panic attack or anxiety attacks making you have all these symptoms. I had anxiety attack when I was when I gave birth to my now 15-year-old. And I kind of had anxiety attacks throughout my life after her, and she's 15. So I'm like, I've had anxiety attacks for a while now, and never these symptoms. So I didn't believe them. I wasn't, they can't tell me how my body is. And with that being said, they continue to prescribe me more omeprazole, which actually ended up hurting me more than it helped me. It made me iron deficient. It made me vitamin D deficient, which made me anorexic. If you go back, or if you remember my previous videos, I was very thin. I spoke on how I was very, thick in all areas prior to getting diagnosed with Gerd, and then my weight just started to decrease drastically. And I thought initially that it was because I basically did like a cold turkey cut with all of my food, because I was eating terrible. I was, especially during the pandemic, a lot of stuff wasn't open, just eating fast food, eating out. So that wasn't the case. I learned that I was anorexic, and I was very thin. Like, I knew something was going on with me when I got out of the shower, and I was looking in the mirror, and I could see my bones. And it was a very emotional time for me. I think I went through sleep depression, but vitamin D depression is also a side effect of that, along with dizziness, all the itching, the migraines, the headaches. So if you're going through all that and you have Gerd, get your vitamin D levels checked. Get all your levels checked. Like I said in the previous video, A through Z, get them all checked. That's what I say, just to see exactly what's going on with you. But being on omeprazole long term, and I say not as like long term, past the 3 months that they initially set for me caused all of those problems. So I was on a journey to getting back to myself because the pill was stripping all of the nutrients from the food that I was actually eating, which was much, out. So when it actually hit my system, I wasn't getting the proper nutrients that you need, to live on. So it was taking my body down through there. I had terrible fatigue. I would stand up and it was like my head was doing this, but I wasn't actually moving. That's when I knew something was wrong past the Gerd. My blood pressure was sky high. It was like 200 over 100 and something when I first knew that something was going wrong with my body. Pain in your body causes your pressure to go up. So that's how I initially knew that I was going through something when I first discovered that I had Gerd and I got diagnosed with it. And then it led to my iron deficiency and then my vitamin D deficiency. And then I had to take folic acid pills because my red blood cells was extremely low, which, brings the oxygen through your body to your brain. So, of course, you need that. I also seen, and then, heart palpitations and all of that, but all that causes, long-term heart problems. So I also seen a cardiologist, which I probably only seen him for about a total of 2 months. When he determined it was just heartburn from acid reflux, he, said I no longer had to come unless I had problems in the future, which 2023 I haven't. I have gotten way better. Like I said, I have gained my weight back by adding healthy fats in the beginning. Now I'm pretty much kind of tapping into more foods. I do eat out now. I know I had cut out fast foods or just going to restaurants period altogether back then, but I most definitely do that. I am still a pescatarian, which is chicken, fish, and turkey. I cut out shrimp since then just for biblical reasons, but back then I was eating shrimp. I no longer do that, so I'm basically just fish, salmon, turkey, chicken breast. Now the other day I did have chicken wings. I put them in the air fryer and I seasoned with the seasoning I use, which is mostly herbs. I don't do salt and pepper, things like that, because it hurts me. I still have fatigue. Like I was kind of like having fatigue before I started this video. I had to get myself together before I sat down and did an update for you all, because I was, all of the comments, all the reactions, it was a lot of things about updates, and I'm so sorry it took so long, but I had to update you all. I'm like, I had to get this video done because I know it's people that have questions. I know it's people that's suffering. I know what you're going through. I know what you've been through. You've overcome it. I pray a lot of your journeys of healing has gotten better for you since I read the comments. It's been a while. Like I was trying to respond to every comment, so if I did not do it on purpose. It was literally so many comments. So I was like, I had to do this update video just to update you guys on where I am, because a lot of you had questions. I want to do a video on what I eat now and things that trigger me and things that doesn't, because a lot of people in the comments on my food video was also, saying they didn't know what to eat, which that was me in the beginning. I had no idea what I was going to eat. I feared food. I was scared to eat. I would take days not eating because of the fear of what it would do to my body, because I was just like going through there and it was like no way out. So I would go just like you all on YouTube, on Google, search for videos and just solutions to my problem. And the main thing that I say helped me was diet change. Just like sticking to your diet, taking out grease, definitely air frying, sticking to the pescatarian diet, no fast foods. When I say I do fast foods, I mean like I don't really do fast foods like Taco Bell and stuff like that. Just like restaurants, just like eating out. But of course, I ask whoever my waiter or waitress is how I want my food prepared, like no seasoning, how to cook it basically, but the best way, the most efficient way to get better, I feel like, is cooking at home. Definitely no canned foods. Only a raw or a frozen. I do that. Far as liquids, I don't drink any caffeine because we can't have that. That's the basic things. Citrus, tomato base, chocolate, dairy products, stuff like that. Just the most common things that we can't have that I'm pretty sure that you're probably aware of. I definitely stay away from those things. Around Thanksgiving, I did eat me some Pat LaBelle sweet potato pie. and it didn't give me much reaction. So I have done like that, like a little cheat code, because I still miss stuff and I try to add stuff in there, but it's all about eating in moderations, just not overdoing anything, because even if you don't have GERD, too much of overdoing anything is not good for you. Your body's bound to have a reaction. So it's just like eating in moderations. I'm trying to think of everything and not miss anything in the comment section, because it was like so many comments, like hundreds of comments on each 4 of my videos that I did. So if I miss anything, I might do a part 2 update just to catch up on things that was asked, because I want to make sure that I answer you all's questions. But as far as how I am doing great. I first was diagnosed in 2020. I started to get better though by the end of 2021, and by 2022 I was doing much better. My weight started to come back mid 2022, and by 2023, honey, I'm back there. Okay, I'm back to where I was. I'm back to where I want to be, far as appearance wise. I just put it like that. But to God be the glory. In that, with faith, I mentioned in the previous video, that doing me having GERD, I used to have a lot of bad thoughts because my body was going through so much. I didn't know what was going on with me, so it used to be a lot of negative thoughts. And I am a firm believer in God, Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. So if any bad thoughts come to your mind of death, of anything that's negative, you're not going to make it, you're not going to get through that, no, it's not of God. He would never put negative thoughts. He would never put negative feelings on you. It's not of him. Pray it off. You're going to get better. Stick to a diet. Stick to a plan. Don't give up on it. Just give your body a chance to live. Don't give up. Because one thing about it, when I was going through it really, really tough, I laid in bed and I can remember just wanted not to be here. And how dare I even think that it'd be so selfish to leave my kids without a mother. And, I would just hear the Holy Spirit telling me, to get up. And this was the time that I was dizzy and I didn't know why I was dizzy, but it, ended up being my vitamin D deficiency. Why I was so dizzy, but I heard the Holy Spirit telling me to get up and go walk outside. Get up and go walk outside and walk around my backyard. And I'm like, God, I am so weak, honey. I can't even walk from my bed to the restroom, like to the bathroom. Like, how am I gonna walk outside? And he just kept telling me, get up and go walk outside. I did that. I felt much better. I did like 2 walks around my backyard, and I felt much better. And of course, the sun is natural vitamin D. At the time, I didn't know that was my vitamin D. So let me add that in there. So, the sun is natural vitamin D. So the Holy Spirit was telling me to get up, go outside, and get in some sunlight, because he knew, I didn't know, that it was my vitamin D levels that was extremely low. So, then I learned, because after that day, my faith has always been, high in God. So after that day, I'm like, well, God, whatever it is what I'm going through, like, just please lead me to a solution. And that's when I went in for a second opinion. And I learned that it was my vitamin D. And, I had to get on vitamin D pills. I got on 4 pills. I was to take one a week, and it was like the highest level of dosage that they can give you, to get my levels back to where they're supposed to be. So that was that. I don't want to talk too long. I feel like I've been talking long enough. Like I said, I might do a video on what I eat, what I buy from the grocery store, what triggers me, what helps me, the food that I eat now. So there will be like a versus back then, because I made a video. If you go to my previous video, I have a video on there on what I eat in a day, versus what I eat in a day now, which is a lot more. But to God be the glory. Yeah, I hope I touched on everything, and if I left anything out, please feel free to comment. I'm gonna do much better with checking. I kind of like took a break from YouTube for a while. I started a couple businesses, so my life got a little hectic. But I looked on there and I seen all you guys' comments, a lot from like 2 years ago, some from 1 year ago, some was more recent. And I'm like, let me do an update video just to update the community, the Gerd community, on my journey and my experience, where I am now versus where I was then. Because I know you want to know. I know a lot of people had questions, so I hope this video comes down your timeline, your news feed. I hope it gets to you in good graces. And I pray those of you that come in a while ago when I was going through my journey is also on a healing journey. And you're on your healing journey and you're much better. I pray that. And all of you that are watching it just might be starting it. You're going to get through it. It'll be okay. I promise you it will. Just make sure that you are in, you go to the doctor, you get yourself checked, you definitely change your diet. I feel like that is so important. And I am not against PPIs. I will say that. Now, I did see that it did a lot of people bad, and somebody even commented that was the worst time in their life on one of my videos that I just watched previous to making this one, that it did them so bad, and it did me too. I'm not gonna lie to you all, the omeprazole, it did me terrible, because it can be prescribed to you, or you can even go buy it off of the counter, because when I ran out of my prescribed omeprazole, I went in the Family Dollar store and there it was sitting on the counter, and I even took those, just not knowing, because you don't know, but you're looking for a solution. And I will say that it helped my heartburn, my throat tightness. I would have like a little squiggly noise or feeling in my throat. I don't know how to describe it, but it's all weird. It helped take those symptoms. It helped take those things away. It did. But staying on it past the 3 months, what me and my doctor first initially said, it did me in. Past those 3 months, that's when I really started to notice that the trouble came in. The pain on my side that it was giving me, just the aches. Another thing, it caused me to have carpal tunnel really bad. I don't know if you noticed, but my thumbs are different. This one is more, this caused carpal tunnel. I used to have a wristlet on a lot of times. That has gotten much better throughout the years, because I follow this guy, and I mentioned him before. I'm gonna plug him in. Austin, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. It's G-O-H, Austin. G-O-H is his last name. Austin is his first name. I believe he is of Asian descent. He's gonna pop up. He has a lot of videos to help you with pretty much anything you're going through. Heartburn, crooked spine, everything. So you guys make sure you check him out. Put him in the search engine on your YouTube. He helped me get through a lot with my carpal tunnel. He has a lot of throat exercises, for your Gerd. It's all funny, you're gonna be looking crazy and sounding crazy, but it does help, especially if you keep it on a daily schedule and just keep doing it. It helps a lot. Colonoscopy, I mentioned that. Someone in the comments asked me for an update. I did not have it. I can't even really give you a reason why I didn't do it. I was scared initially because I didn't want to go through the anesthesia back to back, because they wanted me to have it pretty much back to back and be put to sleep. With that endoscopy did me in. Okay, it was terrible. It was super terrible. I'm not gonna lie. I did reschedule though, maybe like a year later. Life was lifing at the time, so I didn't make it to that one. So since then, I think that was in like 2021. Since then, I just haven't went back, and it's 2023, and I am doing much better. To God be the glory. I've gained my weight back. I think I had dropped down to like maybe 120. Starting off, before Gerd, pre-Gerd, I was like 180, okay? During my Gerd, I dropped down to 126. Now, I'm like 150. So, it was a journey. It was a process, but thank God for healing. I still have my aches and pains. I still have reactions, fatigue, and all of that. I'm not all the way out the park with those things, but I have a better handle on it. I have a better control on it. It doesn't do me like it did me back then. It was terrible back then. Now I have better control over it. Just watching my diet, which is the main thing. I'm gonna keep saying that changing your diet is very important. I never been a drinker. I never been a smoker. I know that's the main thing they tell you to cut out, and they also tell you to lose weight, which I did, but I didn't want to lose that much weight. I ended up just going overboard with it, making myself anorexic. Well, with the help of the omeprazole pill, made me anorexic, because it was stripping out my vitamin D out my body and all that. But those were three main things that they told me in the beginning of being diagnosed with Gerd. But, my weight just went overboard. It was like, look, I didn't want to get this skinny. But, to God be the glory. Like I said, my weight has come back. My diet has gotten better. I have a better control over things. My stomach doesn't get that full feeling. I don't have to sleep in the incline anymore like in the beginning. It takes our food 8 hours to digest anyway. That's anybody. But with GERD, it takes hours a little longer. So they will tell you like to stop eating basically at 5 p.m. so your food can digest properly. So I will have to sleep in my bed like this probably for the first year going into the second. By 2021, definitely 2022, I was sleeping like normal. You know, back sleeping flat on my pillow, don't have a problem, stuff like that. So now I'm gonna stop talking. I hope I covered enough in this video for you guys. Like I said, I'll try to do an update video soon, just for things that I missed, definitely on food, just in case you guys want to know about that. Please let me know in the comments. Feel free to comment about anything, and I hope to get, you know, you guys' questions answered as soon as possible. So that's it. Thank you guys. See you next video.